Hi everyone, today we have a new video review, and as you can see, this time we are going to talk about fresh release from Border model. So this one comes in 135 scale, and this is something what I wanted to try for quite a long time, and some of you, well, several of you actually asked for the review and donated enough money to be able to purchase this kit. So with your help I am checking it right now, and I have to say that 135 scale aircraft might sound a bit off because we are used to see it in 132nd, but it might be actually useful with some military vehicles, dioramas, maybe with some figurines. So that's why I guess Border is quite insistent on this, and they have a lot of aircraft already in this scale. So what I have here is the final shape, because obviously I got it from the model shop, and as you can see, it's A6M2 Zero fighter with interior of the engine and weapons as well, so it's quite a package, I guess. And here we have also some information about the kit. This is not a toy, obviously. Then on the side you can see some of the features. So this is the engine interior, I guess, and also we have the decals map. On the opposite side you will find the three marking options which are included here. As you can see, they are quite colorful. They include the I would say the most famous variations of this aircraft, how it was painted, so that's why it might be interesting for everyone. And of course I will be copying, I mean, if I will be building it, I will be copying the lighter version because I have the green one already in my collection on the shelf, and you can check the build review on the YouTube channel as well. So here we have all of the sprues. The packaging is more on the tight side because it's already with the top of the box, and these sprues are packed into resealable plastic bags, so they should be easy and quick to open. It's quite funny that the fuselage house are molded on such large frame, and I will show in a second what I'm talking about. But for 135 scale it looks surprisingly good. So here is the first plastic sprue, so let's place it like this, maybe zoom in a bit more so that you can see what I'm talking about here. So these are two fuselage halves, obviously. We also have the holding parts here, we have the tail wings here, each one should be assembled out of two halves, by the way. This is the tail fin, which is a one piece as far as you can see. We have the cockpit floor, we have the fuel tank here. This is the top section of the fuselage, which is also quite an interesting parts division because you won't have any gaps, so you don't have to worry about this. But then at the same time you have this area behind the pilot, which is divided into two halves, so this is rather strange parts division. So here I will try to focus the camera so that you can understand what I'm talking about, but camera does not want to focus, and now you should be able to see what I'm talking about. And at the same time you can also appreciate the external features because we have the recessed panel lines and rivets. I think in this scale it's quite important. And also notice how many things are pre-molded on these interior parts. Here you can see the tail wings. Here we have one of the interior bulkheads. Of course it's cool that all of the holes are already pre-drilled. And here is another fuselage half. Let's flip it over, because inside the fuselage we also have some details, and I think it's quite important because well, some companies just skip on it because it's barely visible on the finished model, but I like when the companies are going further than that, than skipping the features which are not visible, and then you have the chance to decide how to expose these features. Maybe you have some ideas, and then you have everything ready for such stuff, so you don't have to do any scratch building, so that's why I appreciate such things. Next, I'm trying to open another plastic bag. Okay. I guess another aircraft which I would be glad to check. I think they make the Focke-Wulf and BF-109, so might be a good idea to check it as well. But here we continue with the sprue A. It's the one which is dedicated to the wings, and wingspan is rather impressive. So here you can see comparison with my hand, and well, we have the I see the wing mechanization is actually separate. We have only the top part of the flaps pre-molded. We have the wingtips separately, and I guess if, well, with some, let's say, fantasy or imagination, you can be able to assemble it with the folding wingtips, but I don't remember if this version actually had it, so feel free to write it in the comment section. But I think it's interesting to check what we actually have here in terms of the external features. So again, recessed panel lines and rivets are present. and it would be very important not to lose all of this stuff because it looks really good, and I think for this scale it's quite decent feature set out of the box. If we flip it over here, you can see that we also have some internal details for the fuselage floor section and also for this flaps area. So this is really cool, and again, in this large scale, some might say that it's something what is, I would say, typical and easy to mold, but still we get some models which actually skip on it, and they supply something easier, so that's why it's nice to have it here out of the box. And of course we have the guiding pins which are rather large, so I guess it will be easy to align it together. Maybe it would be cool to have the leading edge molded separately, but as far as I can see here, it will be just placed on top. Next, we continue with the clear sprue. So here, let me zoom in, and you can see the canopy parts. So as far as I can understand, you can assemble the open or closed canopy, which is really cool. And also, we have some parts for the instrument panel here. I would rather check the assembly manual because I don't know how it will be actually assembled. I guess these clear parts are used in order to copy the glasses on the dials. But, well, probably the decals will be placed from the rear side, maybe. Next, I'm opening the sprue, which is dedicated to the engine parts. We even have here the plastic hair. So just give me a second. Okay, this is the frame. What is this? Where is the letter? C is here in the corner. It's barely noticeable, and I will show you in a second so that you can see what I'm talking about. So it's again large sprue, and here's the name or let's say letter of the sprue. The engine parts look rather nice. We even have the engine supports. So maybe with some slight modification, you should be able to do the removable cowling in order to expose the engine inside, and that's really cool. In this scale, I think it would look impressive. With some aftermarket, you should be able to get a bit more features because, as far as you can see, the PE fret here is rather modest. But, well, for this price, I would not expect the full PE fret. And still, I would say what you get out of the plastic is really cool. And for some modelers, it will be more than enough, because I know that some of you rather assemble the plastic and not avoid touching the PE parts. So here it's exactly the case, because you get a lot of things in the plastic, and I think even the standard build should look impressive. So do not worry, it's not mandatory to get some PE or resin upgrades. You get a lot of stuff here, and this is really nice. I like such approach because it doesn't push us to get some unnecessary aftermarket and invest another price of the kit just to get the basic features. Next, I can see the landing gear wheels and also a lot of interior parts, meaning the cockpit parts. So just give me a second. It's the sprue. Well, I do not see the letter, unfortunately. I don't know why. D. So it's quite weird system. Why I'm being confused all the time? Because here you have the large tab with the name, but then you have the separate tab with the letter, and this is really awkward. They could have placed it all together, but this is more of me being used to the proper, let's say, designation of the frames. So what we can see here is the cockpit walls. We have the instrument panel, the side console, the pilot seat, and the cockpit parts look rather nice. I can see that the wheel tires are actually one piece, so this is also really cool, because I was going to say that the landing gear wheels are assembled out of two halves, but as you can see, there are one-piece tires, which you can basically paint separately and then just insert the wheel rims. Such design helps you to avoid unnecessary masking and also gives you a really nice paintwork. Here you can see the instrument panel with the separate cutouts for the dials, and the same goes for the side panel. And as for the cockpit walls, I will have to flip over the sprue so that you can see the promoted features here. They also look nice, so here I don't have any complaints. We have the fuel tank, and to be honest, I don't like the look of the Zero aircraft with the tank under fuselage, but that's already my personal preference. Maybe you are okay with such a version, so it is included here, and for some of you it might be actually handy. Now I'm trying to open the plastic bag with the decals and PE fret, so just give me a second. because I was going to say that for the seat belts you need the aftermarket, but no, you don't need an aftermarket. It is actually included here, and I really like again that we have the essentials included. So here you can see the PE thread and also the small metal rod for this aircraft. So these are typical PE thread seat belts, so definitely a welcome upgrade. But that's not all. I can see we also get, I'm not sure why we have, there are actually two metal rods of the same type. So one I showed and one was in the plastic bag. But that's not all. We also get the springs, the metal springs. So this is getting interesting because I cannot even imagine where you can use the metal springs in the aircraft, to be honest. I have not checked the assembly manual yet. Another PE thread, again very tiny. So it kind of shows that Border is relying more on their quality of the plastic molded features, not on the additional PE parts probably. And as for the decals, I do not see any mention on where they were printed in, but as you can see, the overall quality looks good. We have the dials for the instrument panel molded separately, so this kind of hints that you have to apply them one by one on the clear parts. And all the stencils Hinamaro look okay, so here I don't have any complaints. Obviously the 135 scale choice makes it a bit more difficult to find some aftermarket which will be suitable. So probably you have to live with the standard choice of the markings which are supplied in the package, but I wouldn't say that they're quite dull. And just to check it together, we have here the assembly manual, which is in this landscape orientation. So as you can see, it's a color printed brochure. And then straight away on the first page, we have the parts map, and assembly process starts with an engine. So here, as you can see, manufacturer shows that you should install the engine right into the cowling. But as I said, think through how to make the cowling removable, because it will be definitely worth it. Next, we continue with the cockpit assembly. So here are a lot of parts which should be actually pre-painted before the assembly. And as you can see, that's exactly what I was talking about. You applying the decals from the back side and then installing them into the instrument panel. Here we have also the cockpit walls assembly. Then we continue with the main wing and also the main wheel wells. Then on the next page, we have the... So what do we have here? These are... so we have here the different assembly options for the standing on the ground and also the flying status of the aircraft. But still, I am not sure how the springs are engaged here. Next, we continue with the wingtips. We also have the PE parts. So metal rods are used for the ailerons. This is quite interesting. Okay. Next, we continue with the machine guns. Then we have the wing mechanization being installed into place. Here you can see the fuel tank, which I was mentioning. Also, there is a bomb, but I wouldn't install both on the aircraft, I would say, or any of them. Here we continue with the tail wings. We also have some features on the fuselage walls, and then we install the cockpit in between. Next, we have the wing installation. So here I am wondering what will be the parts fitment overall, because, well, I have some ideas for this aircraft. Next, we continue with the propeller and the engine area being installed. Here, by the way, you can see the top tail section being installed, one piece part. And then, well, I think there is one more page. I do not believe that there are no pages. So here we continue with the tail fin, the tail wings, also the canopy, the landing gear wheel assembly. Here you can see the landing gear for the landing gear legs assembly, also some P parts being used, and you can also assemble the aircraft in flight position. And then we have here the final installation steps when you install the legs into place. And here you can see the first marking option, which is given as this nice color printed plan. Then we have another marking option here, and one more here. And then on the last page we have also some QR codes with their Facebook group and the website. So overall I would say this is a quite nice release, and well, considering the price of 1/32 scale offerings, I think only the Hasegawa is offering quite accessible one, but it doesn't offer a lot of features out of the box. So you have to get some aftermarket, and then you have exactly the same pricing as Tamiya one. So that's exactly where I was leading, because Tamiya is still standing around 100 euros here. So this one comes at around 50-60 euros, and I think this is definitely a good choice for modelers who would like to have a Zero in a big scale on their shelf. Of course, I'll be happy to hear your opinion, so do not forget to write it here in the comment section below, and I will see you in the next video review as usual. Thank you for joining me today, and bye.